Is quitting your job for music a good idea? What's up, it's your boy L.Dre, and I've been doing music full time for 3 to 4 years now. For me, it was the best decision I could have ever made in life. But with that being said, there are a lot of ups and downs and a lot of preparedness that goes into making this transition. In this video, I want to go into depth on how to actually quit your job to do music full time. I know that this is just a really huge decision, and a lot of people that are watching my video are either almost at a place where they're ready to do it and just maybe don't know exactly what's the best way to go about it, or for a good majority of you, doing music full time is just your dream goal. So I'm going to divide up this video into 3 parts just in case you've already got over one of the parts, But the first one is being, should you actually even quit your job? Is it a good idea? The second, which I personally think might be the most important, is actual financial preparedness when it comes to quitting your job for music. There's a few different ways to do it. One way is the smart, prepared path. Another way is just the, go for it and hope for the best kind of way. And I personally went with the prepared way. And lastly, in the third part, we're going to be talking about some practical steps to do music full time. And in that, I'll really break down exactly what I did so that hopefully you can learn from it. And before we get into it, I want to thank the channel sponsor DistroKid, but we'll have more on that later. I know you're probably like, hurry up, L.Dre. Should I quit my job to do music full time? Is it a good idea? Just tell me already. Well, the answer is yes. Or no. The answer is going to be different for everybody. And there's 3 huge things to consider. The first one is simply, do you want it bad enough? Me personally, the reason why it was somewhat of an easier decision to quit my job to do music is because literally since I was young in middle school or high school, I thought I was going to be the next Kendrick Lamar. I thought I was going to be one of the top 10 best rappers ever. Now, obviously, over time I switched to producing, but still, I always knew that music was it. Music was the only thing I cared about. I didn't get the best grades in school. I didn't even take the SATs because I just knew some university just wasn't for me. I knew that I wanted to do music. So if you're in a place where you're considering to quit your job to do music full time, I'd like to think that you already have that drive. But if a part of you is just I don't know, maybe not, then you just need some more time, okay? But once you have that drive and it starts to become serious, it really boils down to 2 things: time and money. So for the rest of this video, I'm just talking from my personal experience, but let's discuss the time aspect of it. When you're working a 9 to 5, you're trading your time for money very directly. So for me, I had a 9 to 5. I was making $12 an hour in Los Angeles, barely making enough to get by, while also every day after work, I'm going home and staying up all night, making music, working on YouTube videos, and all the stuff that I was doing. So the number one thing you're gonna get when you quit your job to do music full time is more time to work on said music. And when the gears start turning to where you feel like you might be ready to make that huge decision of quitting, I would like to assume that it is because you're lacking time. Let me dive in a little deeper, okay? So what I mean by that is the time you're spending at your 9 to 5 taking away so much time for you to do music to where you will see the direct benefits of actually using that time to work extremely hard at your music? Or do you feel like you're kind of content with working during the day and then you get off work and you still have enough time to make beats or practice or whatever it may be? That's really the first thing to consider, because a lot of people want to jump straight into quitting their job when in reality, if they just were better at managing their own time, they could keep the job, they could keep the income stability while working on their music on the side. Really think about how much having all that extra time will really benefit you. Now, at least in America, you can't talk about time without talking about money, because like I said, everybody's trading their time for money. It's quite sickening when it comes to the money of it, all right? So let's say you fit into that category of, okay, things are starting to happen on the music side of things, and my time isn't being spent very well going to this 9 to 5 every day. You truly can see an ROI and the time you'd gain from quitting that job. At that point, it really comes down to finances. How much money do you have? Are you making money from your music already? I personally wouldn't recommend anyone to quit their job if they haven't seen a dime on the music side of things yet. Especially if you have a lot of responsibilities. Like me, for example, I was paying my mom rent, I had student loans, car payment, car insurance, all these different bills that you just gotta pay. So yeah, money and finances is a huge part of this decision. Now, like I was mentioning earlier, if you are someone who feels like there's not enough time in the day working at the 9 to 5 and also doing your music on the side, and your music is already starting to make some money, so you can really start to see that path like, okay, this is possible, then you might very well be ready, and this could be something that is worth your while. Using myself as an example, at some point while I'm working this job, some stuff on social media started to go viral for me. Like, I started getting my first viral videos, and then I started having companies hitting me up. Cymatics flew me out to Atlanta to do a podcast. Samsung flew me out to CES to do some coverage of their technology show or whatever. And it was actually getting in the way of my job. I literally had to keep going to my boss, making up an excuse about why I'm gonna have to miss work for a few days. It eventually got to a point where it's like, I could get fired, I'm missing work so much. And so what I would think of, if my boss would ever say no, in my head, I already knew like, if this dude says that I can't, then I'm just gonna quit, bro. And that'll be that. The more music things that got in the way of work really moved this decision forward for me. So if you're feeling like that, then you're on to the next step, which is financial preparedness. Now, this is a topic I really would have loved to see like on YouTube or something discussed, because it would have really been nice to know like, what is the right way to quit my job to pursue music full time, like financially, Like, and 9 out of 10, if you're considering this right now, like, you probably don't even know anybody in your area. You don't have any family or friends that have done this before. So it's just something you just don't really know, you know what I'm saying? But luckily for me, I grew up in the YouTube era and I was like a nerd. So like, I wasn't out partying, turning up with friends. I was on YouTube watching Graham Stephan, learning about credit cards and investing and all my personal finance needs. So when I started making money from music, like any money at all, I'm talking about like when I was selling beats or whatever, I was always kind of trying to use it as smart as I could. And when it came to the time where I was making enough money to consider quitting my job, this is the strategy that I came up with. For me, the first thing was I would need it to be making double what I made at my job every month for at least 3 to 5 months. I think I was only making like $1,800, bro. So in my head, I was like, once I'm making $4,000 a month from music, I can quit, bro. Big whoop. Now, did I get to that? No, but we'll continue. My second plan was to just have 3 to 6 months of my living expenses saved up. Because the way I saw it is the amount of money that I already had coming in, as long as I kept working hard, it was only going to increase. So if anything bad were to happen, at least I have 3 to 6 months to just like prepare or to just try my best to work as hard as I can, So those are my 2 plans, and I would highly recommend you do something, either that exact same thing or something similar. I know that there are tons of people who are just like, go for it, like I mentioned earlier. I'm not saying that that's impossible, because it really just depends on your financial situation. Because some people do have like, maybe they're not privileged, but I don't know, let's say they have the option to move back in with their parents, so now they don't have to pay rent or do all the basic little things they need just to survive, then sure, quit your job. If you can just like downgrade your current expenses to really focus up on music, sure, go for it. And some people are also okay with like just being broke, having all the time in the world to work on their craft. People are jumping from couch to couch, blah, 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 but they're working hard on the music all hours of the day. So sure, go for it. Good luck. I wish you the best. Now, just for transparency's sake, like I mentioned before, those were my 2 exit strategies. It didn't happen that way at all. So by the time I quit my job, I hadn't made double consistently for 3 to 6 months, and I didn't have 3 to 6 months of my living expenses saved either. But what happened was, like I said, I had a lot of viral things happen in a very short amount of time, and things were happening for me that pretty much guaranteed future money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did a few brand deals and made a few stacks of cash. Yes, it wasn't enough to feel comfortable to quit, but I also had some songs go viral and the streams were going up and up. So all these things kind of aligning around the same time gave me the confidence to say, I can survive the next 2 to 3 months. But outside of that, it's like, I know for a fact that money is coming. Not in like the delusional way though. Like, obviously, yes, I believe in manifestation. The money will come. The money is always there to begin with. But like, this is a big decision, guys. Come on. So yeah, that's it. That's how I did it. And as far as what you should save or how to even make more money, blah, 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 we'll get into that right now. I'd highly recommend getting your finances together before making a decision like this. But you got to do what you got to do. So how about a word from our channel sponsor, DistroKid? If you don't know what DistroKid is, then you probably haven't watched any of my videos because I talk about them a lot, but they're the easiest way way to get your music up on all streaming platforms. And I'm not just talking Spotify or Apple Music, I'm talking platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and even Snapchat. And one of the best things about DistroKid, especially for my fellow independent musicians out there, is you keep 100% of your earnings. You also get unlimited uploads, a hyperlink to showcase the links to your music, marketing materials like promo cards, and so much more just for $22.99 a year. If you use my affiliate link below to sign up today, you'll get 7% off your first year, courtesy of your boy Dre. Also helps out the channel. But yeah, get your music out there. Shout out to DistroKid. All right, let's get on to some practical steps to do music full time. So like I tell everybody, make sure you're good at making music first. How do you find out if you're good at making music? Well, start making it, start making content about it, start releasing it, and see what people say. And also, like I said earlier, be making money before you even consider quitting your job. That's my personal opinion. If you got no money coming in from the music, then you really haven't tested it to see if it's the right thing to do. Now, some practical steps to make money from your music. I've done tons of videos on this, but let's just talk about my actual personal experience. So I was working my 9-to-5 for, I don't know, 2-3 years or something like that before I quit it. During that time, I think the first year out of college, when I started taking music serious, I think I made like $4,000 that year, and it was huge to me. So what did I do to make that $4,000? At the time, I was just selling beats on BeatStars, doing the whole type beat thing, doing a lot of custom beats for people. And that was the beginning of making money. So I know the scene is different, but you can still try to sell beats online. It's definitely a way to make direct money. But the main step that I took that really led to all the money and success I needed to quit my job was making content about my music, because the first big checks I got were actually from brands. Because I was doing content and I had some videos go viral, like I've mentioned before, Honda hit me up, Samsung hit me up, and both of those deals were like a couple $1,000s. Also, I was making remixes, and my remixes went viral, and I released the instrumentals, and those started to get streamed, so I also started to see some money coming in from DistroKid. But I owe all of that to content, literally all of it, even selling beats. The only reason why I sold any beats was because I was posting videos of me making those beats. So those are the slow grinds to making money with music, but there's tons of things that I didn't do that you might be able to. For example, DJing, doing live shows, that kind of stuff is a good way to make money that I just don't utilize. Alternatively, you can try to get a 9-to-5 that is within the realm of music. Take sound designers for video games, or being a music instructor, or even being like a music supervisor. There's so many different ways to make money from music outside of it being like you as the creator of the music. So just try your best, do all you can, and make sure to diversify as many as you can. Like I mentioned, my first checks were from the social media brand deals, so I kept making content. So I got brand deals, and then also my music is streaming, and then also like I sell vinyl and merch and drum kits. So if any one of these aspects of my financial career were to break down, hopefully I can make up for that loss by some other pillar of my business. Whoa, Drake. But on top of all that, while you have a job, I highly recommend just trying your best to make the most of it, especially when it comes to like your time management and stuff like that. Because yes, I quit my job to do music full time, but it took a long time. So there was a long period of time of me trying to figure out how to manage my time. How many times am I going to say time, bro? But yeah, I had to balance it for a very long time. And it all ultimately came down to how I was able to push myself and manage all this. And like, obviously I was young, so who cares about sleep, right? I'm working till 4 or 5 a.m. and then taking a little nap for 3 to 4 hours before I'm back at work at 9. So to answer that earlier question, yes, it's a good idea to quit your job for music if it makes sense for you, because again, like I said, it's been the most fulfilling and happiest thing ever for me. So not everybody's path will be the same, but as long as you have that drive and you work hard on your time management skills as well, and you make sure you're financially literate, so when you do start making money, you know what to do with it to get to the point to where you can quit your job and do music full time. Even outside of that, you still gotta use your money correctly, because now you gotta save for taxes. It's not deducted out of your paycheck, and you're not gonna get a refund anymore if you're making making money now. So you turn yourself into a business. You just really got to prepare for that. And please, if any of you have any more questions regarding this, leave them in the comments. And if any of you has quit your job to do music full time and have any other further perspectives, please share your perspective in the comments. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see that. But yeah, guys, anything is possible. Chick-fil-A used to be a luxurious meal choice for me back in the day when I didn't have money, but now I get it on a Sunday if I really have to. Okay, nah, they're not even doing that for like the Kardashians. But yeah, I honestly feel like I was such a regular dude that if I can do it, you can too. Anybody can. So much love. Make sure you like, subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I will catch you in the next one.